So she mentioned something about she had joined a template membership. And in my head, I thought, oh, that's exactly what my people need.
Mm,
The biggest thing about email is that what I just said, like you
yeah,
promptly feel kind of dumb because you have no idea what to say. You don't know how to connect. You don't know how
so
to
true.
market. You don't know how to dance between that line of like, friend and salesman, so to speak.
Mm.
And so I got the idea, and then, like most creative geniuses, I promptly did nothing about it. I sat on the idea. I had client work, I had other things to do. And it was probably, I don't know, about 3 months later, I was sitting down to write my newsletter, and I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to write about today? What do my people need to hear? And at the time, I had just signed $20,000 in contract work. I was a copywriter at the time. And I should have been elated. I grew up really poor, and $20,000 ain't no joke, right? Like
Mm,
that's more money than my mom's ever made in a year. And
yep.
here I was signing that contract in, a couple weeks time. But while I felt, a sense of security, okay, this is, money for my family for X amount of months. I also felt a little bummed, honestly, because I was building this email list of people who, for the most part, are never going to be able to afford my services, or they're
Mm,
not going to be able to afford them for years, right?
yeah.
I'm teaching them how to build an email list from the ground up. They're we'll say, 0 to 1 year, in business, a lot of my people.
Yep.
And so, ding, light bulb came on, dancing bananas, saw melody in my head about the template membership. And I thought, okay, Liz, this is the time. It's now or never. You want to serve these beginners, but you're not making any time to do that. You keep signing these big contracts, and it's taking away from the people that you actually want to serve. So I thought, okay, well, what can I create? The template membership came into mind, and I thought, okay, what could be in it? What is that number one problem that people have? And I sort of laughed at myself. I was like, it's the problem you're having right now. What the heck do you write?
Mm,
And I thought, well, like Jono mentioned at the top of the hour, I've built two businesses before this email marketing thing. They were both in the RV industry. I have archives of newsletters. This is what I do, right?
mm,
And, and so I thought, okay, I'm going to make a template what if I send a template out every single week? And so nobody had an excuse to not send something out. I
mm.
know I'm a pro at connecting. I know I'm a pro at getting people to open emails, click on them, reply, purchase, all that stuff I've pretty much nailed down. So I'm just going to give it to them. And then the second part of that thought was, and listen for while you're creating your own offer. The second part of that was, well, I know that my people really just need to try this. I know email feels really hard, and it's one of those things on the to-do list that just keeps going farther and farther down. It's like
Yeah,
it's like when you don't read an email and it ends up on page 3 and it's lost forever,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's kind of like what email is. It feels complicated, but in my head, I think it's easy for me. This is a simple thing. So why don't I just do it for you? Just trust me
Mm,
enough, use my template and see what happens. Kind of like, how can I dare these people to do it? Because I know once they do it, they're going to love it. And they're actually going to start making money in their business, which is why I'm in business. And so I started writing the newsletter. Uh, started writing it. I said, hey, I'm thinking about creating this membership. It's going to have the weekly template. I said, oh, and Jono, I was just making this up as I'm
mm,
writing. I said, oh, yeah, I'm going to do a monthly Q&A. And oh yeah, I'm going to have guest experts once a quarter. I'm just making it up. I'm like, this sounds good. And then I got to, okay, how much am I going to charge, right?
mm,
What is that price? And I honestly, and y'all got to know your numbers. I went
mm,
back to my numbers. I went to, what are people purchasing right now? What is my least expensive product? What is my value ladder? And I thought, I don't have the number of customers that I want. I want as many people in on this as possible. Number one, because the percentage of customers is a very important metric in your business.
mm.
And number two, I really believe in my ability to help people with email. So I thought, okay, well, my cheapest product right now is $22. It's a tripwire. And I know it's going to help people, but the percentage of people that were purchasing it, it was like 3 to 5% over the
Mm.
span of the last 6 months. And while that's pretty average, if you Google me, you'll see I don't like average. I'm not, I mean, I've been on the podcast 3 times, I don't
Yeah,
accept just once.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
I thought, well, how can I get this number up? What would be a price that would get the absolute maximum number of people in, and a price that I would feel excited to say? And for me, that was $9. I thought,
Mm,
oh, $12, that's like, or 11, that's half of 22. And I thought, no, it's gotta be under $10. Because I remember when I was in that position, when I was starting out,
mm,
every purchase was painful. It was like,
mm,
oh my gosh, should I spend this money? Is this person a scam?
mm,
Is this just going to lead me into, they're going to try to sell me a $500 thing if I give
mm,
my credit card away? And so I said, okay, $9 I think is going to feel safe for the maximum amount of people. And I know what I just typed up, what I'm going to give them is worth way more than $9. So this is just going to be a really exciting thing.
mm.
So I put in the subject line, can I have $9? And I hit send. And within the first 24 hours, I had 30 something sales. I think it was like
Woo!
31. Yeah. I sent it out to 800 people. So if you're
Yeah,
listening and you love
wow.
numbers, you're going to love this podcast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I sent it out to about 800 people. I got about 30 sales. I sent out an email the next day saying, I want to get 100 people in the next 30 days. Like, if I can get 100 people in my head, I thought 100 people, that's $900 a month.
Mm,
That I charge $2,000 a day for my copywriting services. That's
yeah,
about half.
yeah.
And so maybe in a few years, I'll be able to retire my services because
Mm,
I really want to serve these beginner type people anyway.
yep.
And so, that was the math in my head. And so I just went 30 days, balls to the wall, so to speak, really hard on email. Oh my gosh, we're at 50 people. Will you be number 51? Emails. Oh, we just hit 60. This is so exciting. And I hit 100 people in 28 days.
Wow.